Boscobel House in Shropshire lies where the old forest covered the area 9 miles north of Wolverhampton. It was built around 1630 by John Gifford as a hunting lodge, and its name derives from the Italian Bosco Bello, meaning beautiful wood. The family of Gifford was Roman Catholic at a time when non-attendance of Church of England services fell foul of heavy fines and Roman priests were in danger of execution. Indeed, a member of the Gifford family had acted as a double agent in the Babington Conspiracy of 1586. Which intended the murder of Elizabeth I and the installation in her place of the Scottish-French Mary Queen of Scots. The plotters were duly punished and Queen Mary was executed in 1587. At the time of Charles II's flight from the Battle of Worcester, Boscobel House was rented to a Roman Catholic family of farmers, the Pendrells. So Boscobel's owner, Charles Gifford, one of the king's fleeing party, suggested they make for that isolated safe house. The fleeing party arrived at White Lady's, now ruined, at dawn on the 4th of September 1651. The king was disguised as one Will Jones, a woodman in a green jerkin, grey cloth breeches, leather doublet and greasy soft hat. His royal clothes were disposed of. As Cromwellian troops were in the vicinity looking for fugitives from the battle, Charles hid in woodland, his aristocratic retainers having now dispersed. The king would be safest travelling with few retainers. By the 9th of September, Cromwell had placed a price of £1,000 on the king's capture. No one ever claimed the prize. As they made their way from White Lady's in the direction of the Severn, Charles and Pendrell dodged troops and frugally fed by trusted Pendrell tenants. They decided that there were too many hazards in their path and they must make for Boscobel House straight away. What were the events that brought Charles II to Boscobel House? Charles Stuart was the eldest surviving son of Charles I and his queen Henrietta Maria, daughter of Henry IV of France. He was born at St James's Palace, London on the 29th of May 1630 after a safe childhood in the magnificence of his father's palaces. Quickly he became proficient in military activities and at the age of 14 he was in command of royalist troops in the West Country. Following the loss of Hereford and Chester in 1645, Charles headed his father's advice and fled to France via the Scilly and Channel Islands to reach his exiled mother in Paris. By 1648 he was in Holland, where his sister Mary the Princess Royal had married William Prince of Orange. Here Charles had a dalliance with Lucy Walter, who bore him a son, James, in 1649. The child went on to be Duke of Monmouth. While in The Hague, Charles heard of his father's execution at Westminster Palace on the 30th of January 1651. while Oliver Cromwell went on to show the Scots that he meant business. In July 1651, Charles led an army into England. On the 3rd of September, they were at Worcester, nearly 17,000 royalists under Charles, with James I, Duke of Hamilton, and David Leslie faced 28,000 Roundheads, led by Cromwell, Charles Fleetwood, Colonel Thomas Harris, and Colonel John Lambert. Fierce fighting took place south of Worcester. Battle raged for 5 hours, but Charles was driven back into Worcester City. He tried to rally his straggling defeated troops. At length, Charles was persuaded to escape by way of St. Martin's Gate. The royalist cause was destroyed. On the 3rd of September 1651, Charles vanished into the darkness north of Worcester. They were heading for the sanctuary of the forest. Safe for a while, Charles caught up with news of the aftermath of the battle and heard that Royalist Major William Carless was hiding in the nearby wood. He now joined Charles, and the pair perched themselves in a thick foliated pollard oak. Later, Charles recounted to Samuel Pepys, "While we were in the tree, we saw soldiers going up and down, searching for persons escaped. The king was able to sleep for a while in the tree. Although a cushion had been provided, the king's 6'2" frame was uncomfortably contorted." That evening, on the 6th of September, the king and the major descended from the oak and took refuge in Boscobel House. That night, Charles rested in a priest's hiding place. But the next day, Cromwell's troops were deemed far enough away for the king to walk in the gardens. Troops searched the house while the king hid in a secret room. And then on to the Cromwellian-held Bristol. Dogged by bad luck, no passage was available for Charles at Bristol. And it was not until the 15th of October at 4 o'clock in the morning that Charles embarked for the continent. Subsequent biographical details of Charles II are well known. He was restored to the throne in 1660 and crowned at Westminster Abbey on the 23rd of April 1661. Charles ruled until his death at Whitehall Palace on the 6th of February 1685 at the age of 54. Today, a descendant of the original tree marks the spot of the dramatic affair. A spin-off for these events was celebrated as Oak Apple Day. It was celebrated as a public holiday on the 29th of May, Charles II's birthday and the day of his restoration in 1660. Some fervent royalists even wore oak leaves in their hats and lapels, while others decorated house doorways with oak boughs. Charles also contemplated founding a new order to be called Knight of the Royal Oak, but plans were never set in motion. And this concludes the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please click the like button, give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe for future videos. Thank you.